Have you ever lain awake in the dead of night, seized by a silent anxiety? It's as if there's a countdown timer ticking away in your mind, reminding you, you're almost 30. Your peers are already earning $1 million a year. You're falling behind on the life progress, bar marriage, kids, all of it. If you don't have something to show for yourself soon, you'll be left behind by society. So you climb out of bed, open those glossy social media feeds and professional networking sites, and stare at everyone else's successes. Funding announcements, offers from top universities, round, the world trips, perfect families. A suffocating sense of urgency washes over you, like you've been dragged into a race you never explicitly signed up for, but one you have to run desperately. If you often feel like you're living your life according to a scorecard woven from social norms and other people's gazes, if the clarion call of being outstanding pushes you forward even as it drains you to the bone, then today, I want to invite you to hit pause on this endless race. Let's talk about a question we've taken for granted for far too long. One we've never really stopped to examine. What are we really chasing? Our innermost desires, or a carefully choreographed performance scripted by society? I used to be one of the hardest working actors in this performance. My script was clear and correct. Get into a top university, land a job at a prestigious company, get promoted quickly, buy a house, and settle down. I hit every beat of society's clock with pinpoint precision, like executing a set of standard moves. My LinkedIn profile was immaculate, my speech polished. My life looked like the textbook definition of a model life. But only I knew the truth. On countless late nights after working overtime, when I drove home and parked in the garage, I'd often sit in the car staring blankly for a long time. An overwhelming sense of emptiness would wash over me like a tide. I'd ask myself, what now? I had all the standard accessories that were supposed to bring happiness, but happiness itself slipped through my fingers like sand, impossible to hold on to. It was as if I was wearing an ill-fitting fancy dress, playing the role of a successful person on stage. The louder the applause, the more desolate a corner of my heart felt. Psychology has a precise term for this feeling: achievement surplus, meaning deficit. We're like starving people frantically gobbling up the bread called social achievements, but chronically lacking the vitamins that nourish the soul. How did we gradually turn ourselves into prisoners of this performances? Behind it lie three powerful collective narratives. The first narrative, the linear illusion that life is a ladder to climb. From childhood, our education has instilled a linear view of progress in us. Good primary school, fey good middle school, fey good university, fey good job, fey successful life. It reduces a complex, multi-dimensional, and accidental life to a single, upward, climbing ladder. So we bury our heads and climb, too afraid to rest, too afraid to look around, let alone ask, is this ladder leaning against the wall I actually want to reach? When we finally scramble to a certain height, breathless, only to find nothing but cold wind at the top, instead of the expected scenery. That sense of disillusionment is fatal. The second narrative, the cruel equation that your worth equals your productivity. In a modern society that worships efficiency above all else, human value has been unprecedentedly instrumentalized. We are encouraged to be human resources, constantly striving to increase our market value, annual salary, job title, assets, follower count. These quantifiable metrics have become the only yardstick to measure who we are and whether we are good enough. When we internalize this equation, our sense of self-worth becomes extremely fragile. It swells when times are good and collapses instantly when setbacks hit. We forget the essence of being human. Existence itself is value. The third narrative, the anxiety of being watched and performative personality. Social media has turned life into a 24/7 live theater. Without realizing it, we start living for the audience, traveling to take 9 grid photos for social media, eating at restaurants just to check in and review them, reading books to show off our reading lists, even working out as if it's for collecting likes. We carefully plan our personas, polish our lives, terrified of showing even a hint of not being good enough. This constant pressure of being watched puts a thick filter between us and the real present moment experience of life. We lose the simple joy of doing something just for ourselves. These three narratives together weave an external evaluation system that seems solid but is actually fragile. We are like marionettes, with strings tied to social expectations, peer pressure, and family gazes. We mistakenly believe that cutting these strings will make us fall. But today, I want to tell you a secret. The real fall is never having flown according to your own will. True freedom begins with the realization that you are the screenwriter, director, and the only most important audience of your life script. This is not an encouragement to lie flat or be cynical. It is an invitation to embark on a deeper, braver exploration, to shift from chasing success to defining your own version of abundance. This requires you to make 3 cognitive lane changes. Lane change 1, from social clock to inner rhythm. Society's clock tells you what to do at what age, but your body, your heart, and your passions have their own pace of development. Some people find their lifelong calling at 22, others restart their learning journey at 40. Some crave the warmth of family, others enjoy the depth of solitude. True maturity is hearing and respecting your inner biological clock and passion clock. Here's a practice method. Do a life satisfaction assessment once a year. Ignore external metrics, and just ask your inner self, on the dimensions of health, relationships, learning, entertainment, and creativity. How fulfilled and happy do you feel? Am I allocating time to the things I truly care about? This assessment is your personal navigator in life. Lane change 2. From achieving goals to experiencing the process. We are hypnotized by goal-driven culture, convinced that happiness only comes when we reach the destination. So we turn life into a series of checkpoints to conquer, living in the delayed gratification of as long as then. But neuroscience and positive psychology have repeatedly confirmed that lasting happiness does not come from achieving goals, which only brings short-lived excitement, but from the flow experience generated when we immerse ourselves in things we love. Flow is a state where you are fully absorbed in an activity that is both challenging and controllable, losing track of time and self. It can happen when you are focused on cooking a meal, solving a problem, painting a picture, writing a piece of code, or having a deep conversation with a friend. Learn to identify and create as many of your flow moments as possible. They are the real building blocks that shape the texture of your life. Lane change 3, from proving yourself to becoming yourself. The essence of being outstanding is a comparative mindset, with the core of wanting to be better than others to gain recognition. This is an endless and insatiable hunger, because there will always be someone better. Becoming yourself, on the other hand, is an absolute mindset. Its core is to identify and live out your unique nature, passions, and values. Your goal is not to beat others, but to fully unfold your own life map. Here's a practice method. Try writing your life user manual. Put aside all your social roles, employee, child, parent, and just be you, this unique individual. What am I good at? What makes me forget to eat and sleep? What values do I firmly believe in? How do I want to interact with the world? This manual is your anchor to resist external noise and make choices that are true to yourself. When you start practicing these lane changes, a wonderful transformation will happen. You will still work hard, but your motivation will no longer come from fear of falling behind, fear of losing face, but from love and curiosity. You will still face pressure, but you will know that it is the price of your choices, not the yoke of coercion. The audience for your life stage may shrink, but the performance will become sincere and touching. You will discover that the forms of a rich life are far more diverse than the successes defined by society. It can be the aroma of the first batch of bread baked by a baker in the early morning. It can be the gentle voice of a father reading a bedtime story to his child. It can be the excited exclamation of a programmer when solving a crucial bug. It can be the warm feeling in a volunteer's heart when seeing the smile of someone they've helped. It can also be the moment of wordless joy when you watch the flowers you grew with your own hands bloom on your small balcony. These moments have no audience, no applause, and cannot be quantified into KPIs. But they are the most real, shining particles in your life. So I extend to you what may be the most important, rebellious invitation of your life. This week, please do one small thing that is useless, audience-free, and purely for yourself. It could be taking a half day off on a weekday to quietly watch the sunset in the park. It could be turning off your phone and spending the entire afternoon reading a useless book for pleasure. It could be trying to cook a complicated dish, even if you're the only one who will taste it. It could be learning something you were curious about as a child, but thought was useless, like pottery, woodworking, or identifying stars. After you do it, please be a brave sharer. In the comments section, tell me in one sentence, what was this useless thing you did? And how did you feel during or after doing it? The format can be, today I ________, and I felt __________. For example, today I went to the botanical garden and quietly learned the names of 10 trees, and I felt like I made friends with time for a while. Today I finished painting a very childish picture, and when I looked at it after finishing, I felt a simple joy in my heart. Let's use these shares of useless beauty to build a back garden for real lives. Here, we don't compare achievements, we only exchange warmth. If this video has opened a window for you to think, please like it so that more friends who feel suffocated on the single road of success can see the vast wilderness beside it. Follow this channel, and we will continue to explore the signposts of inner freedom and authentic living. Please remember, the most top-tier customized life is not to live like an expensive luxury item, covered in price tags for others to admire. It is to live like a warm work of art, full of stories and radiating its own light. You hold the pen to your script. You are the master of your stage. Go write and perform that unique epic named you.